And a lot of times it's not what is, in a professional setting, it is not what is said directly to you. Sarah's polite. It is what's not said, and it's what is looked, how they look and treat you. And that's the difference, right? Every single time that happens, and all that, of course you feel it, but you look through it, right? You say, you are good enough, you go for it.
Yep.
Right? And you must act better than anybody else, such that nobody else can say anything about you. Don't need to be arrogant about it, but be confident of what you can do. It's my message to your audience.
Very good, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Very, very good. 身在他乡，亦是故乡。心安之处，即是吾乡。Good afternoon, Tony. Thank you for coming for today's lunch. I know you as a lawyer, and I know you for your firm is big firm, and your firm is one of the international firm, if I'm not wrong. But I think there's a lot of people that don't know you that well. Can you please introduce yourself?
Okay. Thank you, Simon, for this opportunity to introduce myself. And thank you for that very kind introduction about knowing me as a lawyer around town. Yes, I am a lawyer. I laugh sometimes because I'm known as the big lawyer around town. I don't see myself as a big lawyer. There are many lawyers who are. I think what is the difference is that I am an exception because I am Chinese, I'm Asian, working in a international law firm, a managing partner of an international law firm. And I think as we discuss more about my background, you'll see why I do what I do today. Okay? So I was born in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, some many years ago now, nearly 50 years ago now. It is. I am very close to 50. As I was growing up, I live in an environment where there was the kind of racial prejudice in Malaysia, right? And there's a lot of discrimination. And one of the things that my father did at that time was to say, where is the future for my family? And so he made a very, very bold move for people at that time. A bold move in the sense that you actually take your entire whole family to another country who is not an Asian country and start all over again. And that's a huge move for anyone to do. And one of the most interesting things is this. After 2 years of staying in Perth, my father one night said to me this: we will now take up the Australian citizenship, but that would mean that we would forfeit our Malaysian passport. I did not know the impact of that. But what he said was this: by doing that, you cannot turn back. You must make this your home, and you must then succeed here. You cannot go back.
One way.
There's only one way.
One way.
It's done for you. I to be honest with you, when you're 14 or 15 years ago.
It was a hard decision.
Hard decision. You look back and go, wow, what a significant decision, right? To make as a father, as well for your family, right? But at the same time, during that time, I always thought, why are we here? Don't speak English well, had to go to migrant classes to study English. So every single time people play sports, imagine 13, 14-year-old boy wanting to play sports or games so that you had then go to classes to study English. It's not a fun thing, But I tell you what it does though, it builds resilience. Your drive to success is built through that. Not to say built through just hardship, but your background to it. You go, well, you got no other places. The faster I learned English, the faster my English improved, the faster I can go and play.
Correct.
Right? So throughout whole life, that was it. And I can assure your audience this. I never wanted to be a lawyer.
Oh, really?
I said this at a forum once. Murdoch University kindly awarded me the Distinguished Alumni Award recently. And I said at my award night this, right? I never wanted to be a lawyer. And everyone just go, oh, you know, you're a big lawyer these days, you're well known, you have a high good reputation, you're a big corporate lawyer.
Yeah, you say you don't want to be.
And you don't want to be. But it's the truth. And I guess in one sense, family does affect you to be a lawyer, right? My dad was a lawyer himself.
Yep. Okay.
My dad's a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. My wife's a lawyer. My brother's a lawyer. My sister's a lawyer. My brother-in-law's a lawyer. And I also said my mum thinks she's a lawyer. You know?
She is the judge.
Yeah, she's the judge of everything. She thinks that she's a lawyer. But I always never wanted to be, because I think as you're growing up through my family, it was something not on my mind. To tell you the truth, something not on my mind. Despite the fact that pre-coming to here, my dad did cases in Sydney, in London, and I would always follow him. I will follow him to the Privy Council of the highest court in London doing that. I wanted to be an accountant. I know some people go, well, you know, why accountant? It's just something I wanted to do. Then I went to a career fair. At that time, Murdoch University just started out, right? They just started their law program. And the dean of the law school, who I absolutely respect today, he subsequently became the Supreme Court judge himself, Ralph Simmons. He convinced me, he said to me, look, we know you want to be an accountant, that's fine, you do a Bachelor of Commerce here, but why don't you just do a law degree to go with it? Because it's only one more year, direct entry, all you do is pass your thing. Law would be good for your accountancy and...
Influenced by the family then.
Well, they might as well do it. So I thought, okay.
Might as well.
We might as well, whatever. And when I said it to Dad, he goes, oh, that sounds good, because he's a lawyer himself. Sounds good, whatever, and all that. So I did it, 5 years, whatever, did my honors degree, and all that, did all that. And as you go through law school, I call it, for one of the better words, brainwash you. Into thinking that, oh, you must be a lawyer. It's prestige, it's good, and all that to go with it. I'm not sure why this is prestige. It is, I think there are far more other jobs where it's more value to the community, actually, than as a lawyer. But nonetheless, I went through law school, did all that, got a job in a firm. But I always told my managing partner I'm not interested. Absolutely not interested in the law. I mean, I could do it, but I'm just not interested. So he then one day said to me, he pulled me aside, had a meeting with him. He says, look, we want you to nominate you for a partnership in our firm. And this was a major law firm, an absolutely major law firm in Perth. And I said, no. And he go, how's this possible?
Why did they choose you, by the way? You must have done something.
Well, I think that you know, I tick all the boxes for a partner, right? You have the business case, you have technical expertise, and all that. Plus, I started in the firm as a photocopy boy.
Okay. In experience
From the photocopy boy rising to the ranks, rising right to the ranks. So I was.
How many years was that? How many years?
Oh, would have been like about 8 or 9 years.
9 years.
8 years. Sorry, 8 years. My first tranche was 8 years with that firm.
How did you overcome the difficulty in such a big law firm as being an Asian man? You know, well, I haven't heard a lot of Asian people in the big law firm can be a partner.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
So I think you're the only one I've heard.
A Chinese, yes. Yeah. There's 1 or 2 now, but they came from the East Coast and all that. But there are also other Asian background, more people now. I thank God for it. I would say I'm very pleased to see.
That's good.
Very, very pleased to see. And the next generation will have many. I think you're absolutely correct. Whilst I was going through that period, and that would have been the 90s period, some of your audience may be familiar that in the late 80s, 90s, look, I think it's better if I just put it out. There was racial prejudice around, there's no doubt about it, right? The Jack Van Tongeren days where Chinese restaurants were firebombed.
Yep.
Okay, I think some of your audience may actually remember those days. So I grew up
on that time.
And what I do today in everything I do in law and outside law is because of those times.
A lot of influence.
Absolutely, it drives me. It drives me, to make sure that those things never happen again. Absolutely never happen again. So I'll give an example. A lot of times I was very privileged in the sense that I had a big support around me. Okay, but there are also times where, it's difficult to climb the ladder and all that if people see you differently. Okay, so I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate in the sense that I was able to, as an individual, to walk in both worlds. In other words, walk just what I call the white Australian world. So I'm an Aussie boy because I was brought here so many years ago. Grew up here. So I will have beer with people, love my pies, love my football and all that. Also been able to manage through, because of my family links, a strong sense of my culture. Still as a Chinese, still as an Asian. So I was able to balance the two, right? And a lot of times it's not what is, in a professional setting, it is not what is said directly to you. Everyone's polite. It is what's not said, and it's what is looked, how they look and treat you. And that's the difference, right? Every single time that happens and all that, of course you feel it, but you look through it, right? You say, you are good enough, you go for it.
Yep.
Right? And you must act better than anybody else, such that nobody else can say anything about you. Don't need to be arrogant about it, but be confident of what you can do. It's my message to your audience.
Very good, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Very, very good. I'll be very interested, I think the audience is interested to know as well, how did you get onto this stage in the legal industry with the Asian boy from a scanner boy to today? Yes, please.
A very quick response just on how I did it. And I'll come back to it. With a lot of support, a lot of hard work, a lot of luck, all the same. I don't think, I will say this, not a single successful person in town today got there just because they just got there. They got there over a long period of time because they worked hard, they were dedicated, they were driven, but that's not enough. It's all the support of people. I call it your guardian angels around you. Okay, somebody that gave you the leap of faith. Sometimes it's all about timing. Sometimes it's all about luck. Right? I think that happens to everybody. That's certainly me. So coming back to my day-to-day job. Day-to-day job. So I'm a managing partner these days, and what does that mean? You say to me, "Oh, that sounds like you're the boss." I think I'm the boss of the people. I think they tell me what to do. I always say this: I'm a representative for my partners, but at the same time, it feels like I get to do, or I must do, those things that nobody else wants to do. Okay, so that's how I see my role. But more seriously, I'm a corporate partner, so I deal with from high net worth individuals to major corporates. In maybe 10, 20 years ago, it's all about you knowing the law. Great lawyers are technically very good knowing what the law. To me now is this, and this is more importantly for the future. It's not about your technical skills anymore, right? I see myself as, you got a business problem, right? How do I use the law
to help you?
To help your business problem? Or, not necessarily a business problem, how do I use what I know, whether it's my network, legal means, to actually help you grow your business?
And we all know you are the senior vice president of the Chinese Chamber of Commerce. What's your contribution, and how do you find out yourself to use this platform to help people? And have you achieved what you are initially, what you want to join this chamber? Have you achieved that goal yet?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I'm not sure I will ever achieve it. But very simple. My goal, originally I joined the chamber as I said before, in those difficult times.
Yeah.
And true enough, it would open up my eyes to what the chamber was doing in terms of be the bridge between Asia and the local Australian community. And that's what the chamber is all about, that bridge. All right? And to make sure that the voice of the Asian community, particularly in terms of discrimination and all that stuff, and the contribution that Asian people make to society, are recognized. Okay? So that's what the chamber is all about. I started in '95, attended events. So I started in those days as a volunteer, stacking chairs in events and all that stuff. I think I still do. Just old habits and all that. 184 2022 now, I'm the senior vice president. But I don't think it makes a difference because I think it's a big title, but at the same time, to me, all of us are doing volunteer work. Seriously, we're all doing volunteer work. Is given my position now outside the chamber and outside the law, is my ability to talk to a lot of people in business, my ability to talk to trade officials, my ability to talk to government, my ability to talk to all your government departments, foreign and all that. So I can lead, host trade delegations, discuss business, and not only that, be able to connect members of the chamber with those people. So that's what I do within the chamber.
So what's your goal within the chambers? What do you want to achieve?
Two things. One is, I don't believe that the contribution of Asian community is well recognized, or I feel that the acknowledgement is not quite there yet. Okay, it's starting to. It's not quite there. Two, until we stop any prejudice of any form, that work is not done. And the chamber has a role to do that. And thirdly, it will take a long time to show that there's no gap between people, new migrants coming in and working here, and interacting with the community here, the business community here. That will take a long time.
Yeah.
I think if once you achieve all that, then you don't need the chamber anymore.
Well,
you really don't, because that's all the chamber is going to do.
Objects.
The objects.
Yeah.
Right? If you do achieve all that, you actually, the idea is to make the chamber irrelevant one day.
I believe that the chamber, the whole team is working toward that direction, which is good.
And it's very important that it is a debate that is discussed, an issue that is discussed as to we have so many Asian associations. It would be very nice if one or two takes the lead to become the voice for the other, so that it's like one. Yes, the chamber is strong. It has a voice. So is Chunghwa as well, right? Another phenomenal organization that I value. But it would be nice if everyone is united behind one or two, so that it has got that power. Right? It's that united voice that will make a difference to government, right? And make a difference so that you can make a change. That is very important.
I totally agree with you. And why do you think it's not happening yet?
I think
from your point of view,
why it's not happening? I think it's because I think every associations, rightly or wrongly, for good or for bad, have different interests, right? Different interests.
Purpose as well.
And purpose as well. And it's how you get a consensus between all the other organizations. And frankly, all of them are great associations. They're all great. They're all individualistic. They're all doing great work, right? But all I'm just saying is this, that it could be so much more powerful if that happens.
Absolutely.
Right? And that is what I like to see. That is what, if one day I become a president of the chamber, that is what I want to achieve.
Good. Well, I've heard that you have donated some scholarship for students in the postmodern school for the students. And is that true? And why would you have this kind of idea?
It's very simple. I'm a lawyer. I do a lot of sins. I need to cleanse my sins.
That's right.
To do community work, to help people. You don't understand. I like to be able to be seen as a lawyer, no doubt I'm a lawyer, but a lawyer with a heart. There's a difference.
Well, everyone say that.
Lawyer with a heart, right?
Okay.
I don't think people will believe that, right?
I do,
as opposed to lawyer as a shark, right? So there's a difference. This company, I truly believe in giving.
Yep.
Whether it's here or whether you are in Asia or any society, if you are able to, in any form, it doesn't matter if it's money, give back, right? Pay it forward. And I think my view on that is very simple. It actually, the more you open up to others, the more you give away, the more you help others, right? Without expectation of anything to come back. That is the most important thing. You know what? I have found that keeps me happy. Now, may not keep everyone happy. May not keep all your audience out there might go, oh, it doesn't work for me. That's fine. But for me, it keeps me happy. Right? It drives me happy. It actually makes me happy to the point that I actually can be a lawyer. Because it's a grind. Okay?
Cleaning your sins.
Yeah, clearing my sins. So, yes, it's true. Yes, it's true I have scholarships. At Perth Modern, I have scholarships at Murdoch University. I've set up a foundation for myself to help the homeless people. Okay? It is all true.
And also Aboriginal as well.
Yeah, so I have now established the Tony Chong Award at the Telephone Kids Institute. It is an award given to a researcher, an Aboriginal researcher, to research into mental health, mental wellness for in the Aboriginal community. And I think that's going to be important. And the reason why I do that is simple. I am very passionate about the homelessness. Right? I guess maybe I'm Asian, maybe because everyone, Asian people love property. But it's fundamentally important because without a roof on your head, you have no place. There's not secure. It affects. But to solve the homeless problem is not about just giving the person a roof, right? Because otherwise we can just build apartments and put all them in. It's more about that. You have to solve the underlying problem, because those that are on the roof, they tend to be they're unemployed. They're unemployed, but they can never get a job because they don't have a roof, they don't have a permanent spot. They're unemployed because they have a mental illness or they're sick. They have alcohol problem. It goes round and round and round and round. You don't solve the Aboriginal problem with alcohol and all that because you trying to put them into a system that doesn't quite work for their community and all that. But for me, I've gone beyond that now, right? Because I'm fortunate enough to be able to earn a decent living, that I can take part of my income and support causes like this in a more direct way. So I'm able to use the resources I have to say, you know what? Gear it. Support young people, education. Without education, you're not going to get there. You're not going to get a good job and all that. Support research into Aboriginal mental health, because I want to support the Aboriginal community. And I know the mental health is an issue with them. By the way, that mental health is also about the LGBTQ as well. That is also an issue. So unless those issues are all resolved, how in the community, in the Aboriginal community, how do you think those people are going to go from the community once they go out into the wider community? If you don't resolve it at that level, they'll never get there. you're just going to perpetuate the problem. Now, I can't say that my award with Telephone Kids Institute, which is over a 5-year period, is going to solve the world's problem. Right? But it's a start. And I'm hopeful, if you're all, for those who's listening, as your audience is this, use this as an example to be able to say, you can do it too. You can help. It doesn't matter whether you are interested in that Aboriginal thing or not. Find a cause. I'm pretty sure every one of your audience has a cause they need to support. Right? Find it, support it. Right? Every support, whether it's money or volunteer work, it makes a difference.
Look, very, very interesting, because I like the way of you thinking, and I also reminds me one of the Hong Kong movie stars quote. He said that when you lend, you need to teach people.
Yes.
When you earn,
Yes.
you need to give to people.
But you don't need to give all of it.
You can if you want.
Yes. I'm generous, but not that generous.
You were already a successful lawyer and entrepreneur as well. What do you see in the next 5 years? Would you interest for sort of like elections for any public officer, or would you like to still keep the way what you are doing at the moment, or some different changes?
Yeah, it's a hard thing. When someone asks you, what's your 5-year plan, what's your 5-year goal, whatever, I don't know. I mean,
you don't plan?
I don't necessarily, you don't say you don't plan. You dream, okay? You dream. Where I dream is this: in 5 years' time, I'm hopeful that I will continue on this journey in a positive way. Okay, so I'm very clear on what I want to do. Right? I'm very clear that I will build my law firm to be one of the best. I'm very, very clear on that. All right, but I want to build a law firm that is known and the very best, but where everybody working in it is happy at the same time. Okay? That is a difference. That it can make a difference to the legal community and to the public at large. That's what I'm trying to do with my law firm. Very consistent with what I'm trying to do at the chamber, very consistent with what I do in my personal life. If I can continue this journey, I'll be able to use my position and my resources that I have to help others, then I think I'll make a difference. It doesn't matter whether I sit as a public official or not, whether I'm a politician or not, right? Because my end goal is to make a difference. If I do make, and I'm not asking for a lot, I just want to have a sense that things are improving. Right? If we make that improvement, then I will be happy.
I believe, like you say, 5 years you're not too sure, but maybe in another few years, after 5 years, please start thinking, and if you can do, as you are such a great successful people, and do more contribution for the community.
You're very kind. You're very kind. I value politicians and all that, right? They take the blame for everything. Okay, people, they take all the criticism.
That's why you need to make some change.
They take a lot of criticism on that, but I can tell you this: they work hard, and they go in there really not to make money. And a lot of them want to go in there to make change. Okay, I have to learn to be nicer.
You are enough, man.
To be nicer.
Enough,
I'm not so sure yet. Not so sure yet.
Okay, but anyway, I mean, thank you for today, and
pleasure.
I know that you charge like very expensive. That's why I have to cut the time short. Okay, thank you for today. All the best for you in the future. Thank you. Cheers. Tony. 他在西澳是唯一一个在这4大律师所里面能做到 partner 的一个律师，他还在很多公益事业上做出过奉献，因为他希望能帮到这些土著人，还帮到这些学生，让他们以后在他们的改变他们的未来。我觉得这些都是一个非常大的思想，尤其是现在我们华人在这边，应该不只是为了自己的生意利益去奋斗而已。然后，当你一旦有了这个更高的一个成就的时候，确实也要为一些社会做一些更多的事情。如果可以的话，我也希望他这么成功的一个人，能在这个政治上为我们华人发声，使得我们华人在这个西方国家，在 Perth 的整个环境跟以后的下一代的成长， 会有更大的变化。